How is everybody doing this Saturday morning? Guess what, guys? It is the 1st of June. Can y'all believe it? We are we are just about halfway through the year, and pretty soon it will be another year. Guys, I tell you over and over, whatever you got to do, get it done, because before you know it, time is over. Your time is done, and it's all over. Right, guys? Michael is here and Lindsay. It's early in the morning. It is 4:30 in the morning. Doesn't matter. I wear my lipstick. So morning. So good morning, everybody. We are here again on the channel of Trev from Trevessence. And guys, we are going to continue doing what we do. Now, each morning we gather here, we do one thing and one thing only. We gather here to read the Bible. Actually, this is my journey. This is my journey to read the Bible from the beginning to the end. And I have decided, I was generous enough to take you all along. Some of you have been with me since we started from Genesis almost 3 years ago. And some of you are just discovering the channel. Some of you are just deciding to stop by. Some of you are new to the platforms. And so, even so, I want to say thanks to everybody who has come in. Those of you who cared to share your opinions, to share your thoughts, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Now, this is a safe space for those of you who have questions concerning the Bible. Now, I am no theologian. When I come here, I do not endorse any particular religion or denomination. Okay? If you are looking for a space where somebody is going to be convicting or condemning or converting you, then this is not that place. Okay? I have no authority to convince, convict, condemn, or convert anybody. Okay? I am simply on my own journey, and I am taking you all along with me, because this this book here has been given to many of us. We have been indoctrinated. We have been socialized into believing what is in the book. We have been told that we should believe, and we have believed that we believe what is in the good book. But many of us just can't be bothered, huh? Can't be bothered with reading it for ourselves. We can't be bothered. It's too long. It's too confusing. It's too this. It's too that. But yet we claim to be following it. And yet we claim to use it to convict other people, to condemn other people. Okay, check yourselves. But anywho, while you are checking yourself, I am going to be reading this morning from the book of the Acts. We started the book of the Acts a few days ago, and we are going to continue reading the book of the Acts. Now, in the book of Acts of the Apostle, it's no different. We have discovered lots of discrepancies in the Bible as we have been reading, and also in the book of Acts of the Apostles, the one that everybody's asking about is what happened to Judas. What exactly happened to Judas Iscariot? I don't have the answers for you, people. Auntie Trev here don't have the answers for you as to what happened to Judas Iscariot. I wasn't here, and neither I nor you has known anybody who was there. But according to the book of Acts, Acts said Judas Iscariot, after he sold Jesus and he got that money, he bought land with the money. And on that same land, he fell on a stake. That means a piece of stick. And he was gutted and died. That's what it says in the Acts chapter 1 and verse 18, somewhere around there. it brought me back to the book of Matthew, around Matthew 27, where it said, Judas Iscariot went back to the judgment hall with the money after he realized what he had done. They didn't take the money from him because he wanted to give back the money so they could release Jesus. They wouldn't take the money back from him. He threw the money down and left and went and unalived himself. Somebody has the audacity to tell me that both stories are true. And I say, you really think I look like Dodo the bird, right? Both stories cannot be true. Both stories cannot be true. Somebody else says, the people who are telling this story may have been Jamaicans, because I'm saying no fast with Jamaican. We might tell a story, but we don't tell a lie. Okay. They said, oh, you ever listen to Jamaican telling a story? 10 people, 10 different versions. You will find that. There are going to be variations of a story. But my thing is, this book here, we have been taught to reverence this book, that everything in this book is the truth. How many of you have come on here trying to tell me, oh, the Bible is written by men inspired by God. There can be no lies in it. Da, 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 da. Yeah, really? And then when I read it, and I prove to you that what you are saying is nonsense, you say I'm an heathen, and you say, me no believe in a God and all this foolishness. Keep your judgment to yourself. Okay? I'm reading this book because I want to know what is in it, and I would behoove you to read it as well. Before you come out with your judgment stick, start whipping left and right. Okay. These are stories that were written over hundreds and hundreds of years, over generations and generations. These were stories that people wrote of their experiences, whether they were actual or perceived. And these stories, some of them at least, were considered worthy to be put in this collection that we now know as the Bible. When we finished reading the book of John last week, he said, if all the stories and everything that happened back then were to be put in a book, there wouldn't be a book big enough to hold it. And I had said that several times, that there is no way that this little book could hold every single event that occurred during the advent of Judaism. And Judaism. Yeah. That's what this book is. Yeah, all the prophets and all the characters were Jewish people. Do you think the other people who existed in the world during the time when the descendants of Jacob were being instructed and when the advent of their religion started, do you believe those people also had a religion and were writing what they believed and who they believed in? Do you believe so? I'm just asking, because if those people had a religion as well as the descendants of Jacob, who says which religion was supposed to be for us? I'm just asking. Y'all don't have to answer me because it's almost like rhetorical. But anywho, people say, oh, I'm not a Jew. I'm not following the Jewish laws. Remember, there were Jews and then there were Jews. We have been given this. This has been thrusted upon us. And we take it, we grab it with both arms, and like sheep to the slaughter, we ain't got time to stop to read, to see what in the world is going on here. Because that don't concern us, huh? All concern us is that we must walk around, throw this religion all around, and try to convince other people and condemn other people who dare to disagree with us. But anywho, that's not why I'm here, because I am not here to convince anybody that what I am reading from the Bible is true or not. This is more for my growth than yours. So anyway, if you have your book Bible or your Google Bible, you are invited to come along with me. Let's read together. All right? This morning we're going to be reading the book of the Acts, chapters 5 through 7. All right? So get your book Bible or your Google Bible, whichever one, and roll on with me. Okay? Let us begin. The Acts chapter 5. Oh, why? It's a little bit dark in here. Let me see all the people in the chat. I have to acknowledge the people in the chat, guys. Don't forget that I do double stream. So if you are on the tube, don't forget there is a like button. You can always hit that like button if you so choose. And over there on the top, you all know the deal. The top of your screens. But anyway, whether you do or not, I am going to be here reading for us. Okay? Let us begin. The Acts chapter 5. But a certain man named Ananias, with Sapphira his wife, sold a possession and kept back part of the price, his wife also being privy to it, and brought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet. Now, this was after Peter. Remember, Peter and John had healed that man at the entrance of the temple. As they were going into the temple, this man who had been born, he had been born crippled. And so he would sit by the entrance to the temple and beg all his life. That's all he did. And on this particular day, as Peter and John were entering into the temple, the man was sitting there as usual begging. And Peter says to the man, listen, silver and gold have I none, meaning I'm nothing to give you today. But what I can give you today is a healing. Now, take up your bed and walk. And the man, you can imagine how scared that man must be. Somebody just said to you, take up your bed and walk. You have been crippled for 30-some years. You were born that way. And he says, take up your bed and walk. And you realize all of a sudden your feet can move. And you can pick up the bed and you can not just walk, you can run, you can jump. And as the man did that, as he started, hey, Eloi, how are you doing? Good morning, my love. Can you imagine how surprised that man was? That he could take up his bed, he could get up, he could run, he could jump, he could walk. But no. All the people who were there, the priests and the scribes and all the other people who were there and noticed this miracle that Peter had just performed, they were in awe. But not just that. The priests and the scribes didn't like that. Why? Because now it seems like their positions are going to be threatened. So what did they do? They threatened the people and said, tell no one what you have just witnessed. Don't tell nobody. If they weren't here to see it for themselves, do not tell anyone that this just happened. Let us continue. Let's start over, chapter 5 of the book of the Acts. But a certain man named Ananias with Sapphira his wife sold a possession and kept back part of the price, his wife also being privy to it, and brought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet. But Peter said, Ananias, why hath Satan filled thy heart to lie to the Holy Ghost and to keep back part of the price of the land? Whilst it remained, was it not thine own? And after it was sold, was it not in thine own power? Why hast thou conceived this thing in thine heart? Thou hast not lied unto men, but unto God. Verse 5. And Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and gave up the ghost, and great fear came on all them that heard these things. So Ananias fell down dead. You know, when it says he gave up the ghost, that means he died. And the young men arose. And the young men arose, wound him up, and carried him out, and buried him. And it was about the space of 3 hours afterwards, when his wife, not knowing what was done, came in. So them take Ananias and bury him, and his wife never knows saying dead. Ain't that something? And Peter answered unto her, Tell me whether he sold the land for so much. And she said, Yea, for so much. Then Peter said unto her, How is it that ye have agreed together to tempt the Spirit of the Lord? Behold, the feet of them which have buried thy husband are at the door, and shall carry thee out. Then she fell down straightway at his feet, and yielded up the ghost. And the young men came in and found her dead, and carried her forth, and buried her by her husband. Verse 11. I ain't got much to say about that. Verse 11. And great fear came upon all the church, and upon as many as heard these things. I tell you, the fear that those people lived by day and night. Day and night. So here, as Ananias fell down and died, and so did his wife, can you imagine the fear of the other people? Lord, we can't tell no lie. Oh, Jesus. Anything we sell, because remember, they had told them to sell what they had when Peter and John established this church, this offshoot religion, I would say. They told the people, sell everything you have and bring the proceeds to us, and we will collect everybody's wealth, put it together, and distribute it among all the people who believe in this new version of this new doctrine. All the people who believe, so that no one will go without. Nobody will be hungry. Nobody will be homeless. Nobody will go without. That was Peter's and John's new doctrine, right? And everybody who believed. If you really do believe, you should sell what you have. Sell your house. Sell your land. Bring all the money here, and we will distribute this money amongst everybody who is a member so that everybody will have. Nobody richer than anybody. There'll be nobody to say, oh, me have 2 houses and 3 cars and you ain't got none. Everybody will have what they need. And lo and behold, Ananias and his wife Sapphira, they sold their land and they brought in. They didn't bring in all the money. They said, no, sir, me not bringing all of that money there. Yeah. Andrea, Andrea is here. Andrea said, Trev, you're up early, man. Yes, sis, girl, me sleep yesterday. Like I slept yesterday. And then after I go get my child, we spend the whole afternoon together. We up until like 11 o'clock in the night. Yes, me never come live last night. Yeah. We spent together the whole time up until about 11:30. We spent together. And so, when I'm spending time with my child, that is time I got to lap up, because that is time we can't get back. So then I went to sleep again, and I had woke up at around 2. I've been up since then. Right, Alchemy, how are you doing, my love? Good to see you. Yes, so here I am. I am early this morning. I beat you to it this morning, Miss Andrea. Yeah, so welcome into the live, guys. As I was saying, so Ananias and Sapphira, they were one couple who decided that they are going to sell their stuff. But hail to the no, we are not going to give all of our money to this movement that Peter and John are developing. We are not going to do that. And so they kept back some of the money. But when Peter asked them, you bring all the money, Ananias? Him say, yes, this is all the money. This is all the money they got. And so for him having lied to Peter, he was struck down, death. And then the wife came in. He asked the wife the same question, is this all the money? She said, yes, it was. And she suffered the same fate as her husband. Now all the people were deathly afraid that if they should ever try to hide any of the money from the land and houses that they were about to sell, this is what could happen to them. Let us continue. Let us continue reading. It says, verse 11 says, and a great fear came upon all the church and upon as many as heard these things. And by the hands of the apostles were many signs and wonders wrought among the people. And they were all with one accord in Solomon's porch. And of the rest does no man join himself to them, but the people magnified them. And believers were the more added to the Lord, multitudes, both of men and women. Insomuch that they brought forth the sick into the streets, and laid them on bed and couches, that at the least the shadow of Peter passing by might overshadow some of them. There came also a multitude out of the cities round about unto Jerusalem, bringing sick folks, and them which were vexed with unclean spirits, and they were healed, every single one of them. Then the high priest rose up, and all they that were with him, which is the sect of the Sadducees, and were filled with indignation. So you see, now Peter is going around doing what Jesus had done. He's healing the sick. He's making the lame walk again. He's making the blind see. People are coming out of every nook and cranny. People are coming out of every hidden places. Everywhere they are, they have heard of this new gospel and this new ability by Peter to heal them. And they are coming for their healing. They're coming on beds. They're coming on couches. They're coming on crutches. They're hopping. They're wobbling. They're coming on donkey. They're coming from everywhere. even for the shadow of Peter to pass over them so that they could be healed. Now the priests are unhappy. They were unhappy before, you think. Now they are really mad because now there are multitudes of people who are following this new doctrine and are following Peter and what he's teaching. And so that means there is less support for the existing priests and scribes. They are not happy. Let's continue. He said they were filled with indignation and laid their hands on the apostles and put them in the common prison. So here they put the apostles in prison. But the angel of the Lord by night opened the prison doors and brought them forth and said, "Go, stand and speak in the temple to the people all the words of this life." And when they heard that, they entered into the temple early in the morning and taught. But the high priest, came, and they that were with him, and called the council together, and all the senate of the children of Israel, and sent to the prison to have them brought. But when the officers came and found them not in the prison, they returned and told. So here, the priest call up everybody. I'm going to have a big council now, so I'm going to call them to come in front of council. He sent his men to go to the prison to release the apostles, to bring them forth. But when they got there, they were not there. They went back and they told the priests and the scribes. They say, "The prison truly we found shut with all safety, and the keepers standing outside before the doors. But when we opened, we found no man therein." Now when the high priest and the captain of the temple and the thief and the chief priests heard these things, they doubted of them whereunto this would grow. Then came one and told them, saying, "Behold, the men whom he had put in the prison are standing in the temple and teaching the people." Then went the captain with the officers and brought them without violence, for they feared the people, lest they should have been stoned. I tell you, no, their weapon of choice. Rockstone and more rockstone. So man should I really be living at them times there, you know. Yeah. As true can be. So man should I really living at them times there, because that kind of fear would probably cause some of you to act right. But nowadays, I really don't have any fear. I have no fear of God, I have no fear of man, I have no fear of the law, I have no fear of nothing. I just do whatever I want to do, and just creating chaos and mayhem everywhere you go, and just causing a miserable existence for others. Bright chatting, how you doing? Good morning, my love. How are you? Let us continue. And when they had brought them, they set them before the council. And the high priest asked them, saying, "Did not we straight command you that ye should not teach in this name? And behold, ye have filled Jerusalem with your doctrine, and intend to bring this man's blood upon us." Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, "We ought to obey God rather than men. The God of our fathers raised up Jesus, whom he slew and hung on a tree. Him hath God exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sins. And we are his witnesses of these things. And so it also, and so is also the Holy Ghost, whom God hath given to them that obey him. When they heard that, they were cut to the heart, and took counsel to slay them. Then stood there up one in the council, a Pharisee, named Gamaliel. That's Gamaliel. Verse 34. If you're wondering where we're at, we are on verse 34 of chapter 5 of the book of the Acts. Then stood there up one in the council, a Pharisee named Gamaliel, a doctor of the law, had in reputation among all the people, and commanded to put the apostles forth a little space. And he said unto them, Ye men of Israel, take heed to yourselves, that ye intend to do as touching these men. For before these days rose up Theudas, boasting himself to be somebody, to whom a number of men, about 400, joined themselves, who was slain, and all, as many as obeyed him, were scattered and brought to naught. So you see, here comes the intimidation. Yeah, this Gamaliel, who is a doctor of law and everybody respects him, now he is stepping forth to intimidate the apostles into not continuing to preach the gospel, or else, you know, when people hear that, or else, them straighten up. Yeah, this is what he's trying to do, trying to intimidate them. Verse 37, after this man rose up, Judas of Galilee, in the days of the taxing, and drew away many people after him, he also perished, and all, even as many as obeyed him, were dispersed. So here he's telling the apostles, reminding them of Theudas. I don't know how that name is pronounced. I pronounce it Theudas. Theudas. Now, this was some kind of an apostle before these men. He was preaching a different gospel from the gospel that these leaders were accustomed to. And he had developed a following, clearly. But they did not appreciate the fact that he was preaching this alternate gospel. And so they had slain him and scattered away all the people. They broke it all up. They broke up Thaddeus's version, his religious version. They broke it all up. And now here comes the apostles doing the same thing, presenting the people with this alternative religion. And they are not having it. So they are reminding, oh, remember the man named Thaddeus? Did come here, be preaching a different kind of gospel from what we are accustomed to. You remember what happened to him? If you don't remember, go ask your granny what had happened to him. Yeah? Yeah. We slew him, and everybody was following with him, following behind him. Who never gets slain had to run away. We brought that up. You want to end up like him? Is that what you don't want? Because we're not afraid. We do that. Okay. There goes the intimidation. And as I talk about the intimidation, here comes Sister Winsome. Sister Winsome, good morning, my love. Winsome, know something that wait for you, you know. I was waiting on you to forward. I mean, say, Sister Winsome, come sit there. She hit the like button. Sister Winsome, I appreciate it. Where's Sister Andrea? Sister Andrea, you forget to hit the like button. And everybody else who come into the live, don't forget to hit the like button. I appreciate you. All right, so let us continue. Verse 37 again. After this man rose up Judas of Galilee in the days of the taxing, and drew away much people after him, he also perished, and all, even as many as obeyed him, were dispersed. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men, and let them alone. That means leave them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of God, he cannot overthrow it, lest haply he be found even to fight against God. And to him that agreed, and when they had called the apostles and beaten them, they commanded that they should not speak in the name of Jesus, and let them go. So here the intimidation took another turn. They gathered up the apostles, beat them to sickness, and then let them go, threatening them. Y'all better not come back round here and make me catch you now preaching again in the name of this Jesus. Don't make me catch you now, because if me catch you now doing that again, the consequences are going to be worse than the first. All right, we're not going to just beat you and let you go next time. Yeah, we are going to permanently punish you. Let us continue. And they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name. And daily in the temple and in every house they ceased not to teach and preach Jesus Christ. Here ends the reading of the Acts chapter 5. We are going to move right along into the Acts chapter 6. So roll along with us, guys. Roll along. And in those days, when the number of the disciples was multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews, because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration. Then the 12, and when it talks about the 12, it's talking about the disciples. Then the 12 called the multitude of the disciples unto them and said, it is not reason that we should leave the word of God and serve tables. Wherefore, brethren, look ye out among you 7 men of honest report, full of the Holy Ghost and wisdom, whom we may appoint over this business. But we will give ourselves continually to prayer and to the ministry of the word. Verse 5. And the saying pleased the whole multitude, and they chose Stephen, a man full of faith and of the Holy Ghost, and Philip, and Prochorus, and Nicanor, and Timon, and Parmenas, and Nicholas, a proselyte of Antioch. So these were the people these were the persons who the people chose to manage this business of, them preaching, continuing to preach the word, because remember now, they have been threatened. They have been intimidated. So they have to choose people who will continue the work. If the priests and the Pharisees should come back and take the 12 apostles into prison and, God forbid, unalive them, they have chosen people who are going to continue with this doctrine. Verse 6. Whom they set before the apostles, and when they had prayed, they laid their hands on them. And the word of God increased, and the number of the disciples multiplied in Jerusalem greatly. And a great company of the priests were obedient to the faith. And Stephen, full of faith and power, did great wonders and miracles among the people. Then there arose certain of the synagogue, which is called the synagogue of the Libertines, and Cyrenians, and Alexandrians, and of them of Cilicia and of Asia, disputing with Stephen. Can't do nothing without a fighting, man. And they were not able to resist the wisdom and the spirit of which they speak, the spirit by which he speak. Then they suborned men, which said, We have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and against God. And they stirred up the people and the elders and the scribes and came upon him and caught him and brought him to council. Who this they brought to council? Stephen. Now Stephen rose up to be great. He was preaching, he was teaching, he started performing miracles and all these things. And when they say, who him? Where him come from? Where? So here is another powerful one. We got to take him out. Politics. Yes, Andrea, politics. We got to get rid of him. So they created this story and said he was preaching and blaspheming against Moses and against God. Now, same thing they said about Jesus. They said Jesus was blaspheming. Jesus was not upholding what Moses had taught them. Because you see, Jesus came with a sanitized door. What's up? Good morning, my love. Because you see, Jesus came with a sanitized version of Moses's version of religion. Jesus sort of modified Moses' version. You will agree, Moses' version was filled with a lot of brutality, a lot of unforgiveness, a lack of grace. You know, anything the people did, it was like straight up rockstone. You have to bring your sacrifice for them sin you commit, or else. So the people were living with this deathly fear that if they sinned, if they did anything that was opposite of what Moses had taught, there would be no grace, there would be no forgiveness. The punishment is rockstone. And so now here Jesus had come and offered them grace and offered them forgiveness without a sacrifice. Jesus tell them, keep your cow and your goat and your sheep. I don't need your sacrifice. And he said to the woman, go thy way and sin no more. Them never liked that. Because the people were so adapted to this religion of brutality that they would not embrace change. They wouldn't. They wouldn't embrace change. And then now here, Stephen is preaching. And Stephen is preaching in the name of Jesus Christ. And they don't want to hear it still. They don't want to hear it, so they accuse him of blasphemy, saying he's blaspheming against what Moses had taught, and he's blaspheming against their God. Let us continue. Verse 13. And they set up false witnesses, which said, This man ceaseth not to speak blasphemous words against this holy place and the law. For we have heard him say that this Jesus of Nazareth shall destroy this place and shall change the customs which Moses delivered us. Let me tell you now. That is why you hear me say, you see, as I've been reading this Bible, I have been learning and essentially growing in my thoughts regarding this good book here. Now you see why they were adamant and determined to get rid of Jesus. Yeah, because his version of religion was so different from the version of Moses. So when I talk about the Bible, I'm not preaching and trying to condemn others. Ask yourself, if you follow Moses or you follow Jesus, which one are you following? Because they are not the same. So if you say you believe everything that is in the Bible and everything in the Bible is true, when I hear people say that, I realize that not only have they not read the Bible for themselves, but they are either hiding from the truth that is written in the Bible, or they hope the people listening to them never find out the truth. That's why I then convince you that the Bible confusing and you need a pastor or somebody who is anointed to read it and interpret it for you. Don't you think the pastor them like that? Yes, they like when you wait for them to interpret it for you, because certainly they are going to skim over some things. They are not going to tell you some things. Some of the Bible has never been preached from behind the pulpit, because the questions are hard to answer, and no pastor wouldn't want to put themselves in the position to answer the questions comparing the laws of Moses and the laws of Jesus. They are not the same. They are not the same. But let us continue. Let us continue. Somebody text me and say, me for pray before me read the Bible, because that will give me more understanding. And I said to him, I say, you understand the Bible, because you're one of the first one who always say the Bible confusing and stuff, and you don't understand it when you read. So I say, you have been reading the Bible all your life? Him say, yes. I said, you pray before you read it? He say, yes. I said, well, you understand everything? He said, no, I don't understand the Bible. The Bible is too confusing. I said, well, I rest my case. If you've been reading it all your life, and you claim to be convinced and convicted, and you not understand it, and you pray every time you are going to read it, you pray, and you still not understand it, but you're coming to tell me, say, me have to pray first to understand it. Make that make sense? I have people here who do not believe in religion. I have people here on my platforms who do not support any religion or denomination. And I have people here from varying religious convictions. So if I come here and say, oh, I am going to pray before I read the Bible, I am going to pray to whoever I am going to pray to. That means I'm not inviting my wider audience to understand what I'm saying, right? Because what if they don't pray to who I pray to? Listen, either come sit down and listen and make we talk about what I am reading, or use on thumb, and keep on moving. Okay? Right, Winston? Mr. Winston, I get up this morning now feeling myself, you see? Feeling myself this morning. Get up on bed and I didn't wash my ear. But come in and wash it until me redo it. About Wednesday or so. Yeah. Somebody I feel myself. So I'm gonna put on a called cheap Timo blouse, what I buy it from before what pickle fill up. I buy it from last year. About last year or the year. More than a year now I buy it. And I say let me put it on. Look at cheap Timo blouse. The color don't look too bad. But anyway, no, Winsome, you should have known me. No, Winsome. Because I'm work Wednesday night, I'm work Thursday night. So I'm not gonna work today. I'm not gonna work till Monday morning. Bright and early. Alright? But make we continue with the reading, Lisa and others. Let us continue. Was Moses a cultist with different agenda of leadership and Andrea, my sister, you remember when I was reading the book of, when I was reading the earlier books in the Old Testament, I said to myself, I said, Moses does appear like a cult leader. Because only in cults I see this hard and fast, these hard and fast rules where, you know, the leader is the ultimate authority. And the punishments are so severe. And the fear that is driven in the people for them to obey was so much. I said it. The people them come and cuss me out and say Moses are no cultist and whatever. I'm not paying no mind. I'm not paying no mind. Because I want him to know Christians, they are blinded by the truth and they are blinded by their own Christianity. That me know. They will come out quick, fast, in a hurry, and ready for condemn you. All because you don't believe what them believe. When some say the word have to come to pass, I tell you. So that's a great question, Andrea. Great question. Because you see, Moses' version is starkly different from the version that Jesus brought. Totally different. Do you think if they brought that woman who was caught in adultery to Moses, Moses would tell her, oh lady, go thy way and sin no more? When you see Moses law say that, Moses law not say nothing like that. Moses law say rock stone. The man, can be sure she wasn't committing adultery to herself, with herself. The man gets to walk free. Their patriarchal society meant the men in their society get all the privileges. So the man in that situation would have walked free. But the woman, straight up rock stone for her. Now, when the people brought this woman to Jesus, them couldn't understand. How comes Jesus was a Jew, but he was not doing the things that Moses had taught them to do? How comes he never ordered them? Because they come ready with them rock stone and ready with them rock stone of them and come stone the woman. And Jesus said, go that way and sin no more. They said, what? What? He's going against what Moses taught. What in the world? Where him come from? No, sir. And so much people are following him. No, we don't want people to follow. Because if the people continue to follow this man, there is going to be a paradigm shift in the culture with which they have grown so familiar. The culture of unforgiveness. The culture of death. The bloodbath. So, Andrea, it is. It is as it is in the Bible. Remember, say, I know me say it. I don't know Bible say it. Let us continue. Let us continue. Michibu, oh my goodness. Michibu is here. Michibu, what's up? Missy Paula, Missy Paula hide somewhere around here. So, Paula, I see you. Peekaboo, I see you. Good morning, Sister Michibu. How are you doing, my love? Thank you for the loves and the roses. And how about that one heart puff? Paul says, oh, Paul, you finally come out of the woodworks. All right, Paul says, that's why Jesus didn't follow all of Moses' law, because Moses' law was tough. Exactly. Moses' law did not give any grace. Did not give much grace at all to the people. So the people did not follow out of love and a strict desire, a profound desire to follow. They followed out of fear. If you not have no goat and cow and sheep to carry come sacrifice, you can be prepared to die. Okay. And this fear caused the people to follow. It was not because, oh yes, oh yes, I need to follow this doctrine because this doctrine appears to be good for humanity. This doctrine makes me feel like a decent human being. That is why I say all the time, if you have to be kind to somebody out of fear that if you're not kind, there's going to be this hellfire, you're going to burn in, you're going to die in this hellfire, something like that, you are not genuinely a kind person. You are not a kind person. You shouldn't have to wait for an incentive, and you should not have to wait for a punishment for you to be kind. Be kind because it's a decent thing to do. Exercise some humanity and be kind to others. Not because you wait upon a reward. Not because you wait upon a punishment. No, you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to. But, yeah. Because some of these people, you see, I go to church, you think they would give you a drink of water otherwise? They would not give you a drink of water if in the back of their minds they wasn't thinking, yeah, I give them a drink of water, yeah, because they know, say, one day, me I go to heaven. Me give us drink of water, me I go to heaven. Me not go to hell. Mechibu, bless up yourself. This sound like some pastor who always... Listen, where things that the pastor want money all the time from the church people, what else can they want? What else can they want? Ryan K, what's up? What else can they want from you? The pastor can't hold your soul. The pastor can't do... The only thing the pastor can do for you is take your money. That's it. That's it. Say where did I go say, Michibu? I am here. This is a safe space. This is a safe space for you to say it how you see it. This is a safe space for you. Okay, guys. Let us continue. Somebody says, and because the rest of them were doing the same thing, they're held there. All right. Exactly, Paul. Exactly. That's why when Jesus said, he who is without sin cast the first stone, the brother of hang on upon them stone, them could not fling the stone. Moses never held them to those standards. Moses never said to them, no, who are you? Who are you to come throw a stone upon people because they have sinned? Moses never asked them question there. Moses said, yeah, stone her. And them gladly leg a rock stone and alive people. I know when Jesus said, he who without sin cast the first stone, deep down in their heart, they know they have sinned one way or the other. Them have to hold on upon them stone. Couldn't leg a one. Moses. Somebody said, Trump come from Moses' line. I don't miss this song. Listen. Moses are the one I did done. Moses are the one I did done from town. Exactly. He was the Don for real. He was the Don. Fun and joke aside. He was indeed. And the people followed him religiously and followed these teachings. It's as though the people were definitely waiting for somebody to lead them, for somebody to tell them what to do and how to do it. And they held on to the teachings of Moses with both hands, with their whole heart. They held on. And now, when there was a new version, a sanitized version, a version that to me seemed more palatable, them don't want that. Said Jesus come and radam the laws of Moses. Exactly. Exactly. Michibu, me say, you always forward with the vibes. You always forward with the vibes. I love you. That is so true. Let us continue, my lovely people. Let us continue. We're going to read a little part here again, verse 14 of chapter 6 of the book of Acts. For we have heard him say that this Jesus of Nazareth shall destroy this place and shall change the customs which Moses delivered to us. And all that sat in the council, looking steadfastly on him, saw his face as it had been the face of an angel. Here ends the reading of the Acts chapter 6. We are going to move right along into the Acts chapter 7. Guys, I never know somebody like the reading of the Bible, so you know, I never knew it. When I thought about coming on here with this journey here, I never thought I would enjoy it this much. Because I was thinking initially, you know, I had my preconceptions before, which I tried to shy away from. But before I started reading the Bible, there were so many questions in my mind. And as I have been reading along, I've gotten so much clarity. If you all have not read the Bible and you haven't been following me all this reading, y'all need to start reading it from the beginning and take notes of what's going on. Don't just call the words. Yeah, man, the Bible have a buzz, Sister Winsome. It have a buzz. I know you always say it, but the Bible does have a buzz. Yes, tell them to tap up the street. It's intriguing also how you break it down. Exactly. I thank you, my love. You can't just get up and read the Bible one verse at a time. You can't just get up and read the Bible, you know, say you only stick to the Psalm. I know some people who only stick to a few books. Some books them not touch. Some verses them not touching, right, Paul? They're not touching. Or they touch it privately. They don't want to admit. They don't want to admit the discrepancies in the Bible. They want to hold out on fast that the Bible is written by men inspired by God. People, that's not true. That's not true. Some of the stories are of men who were considered to have been inspired by God. But the Bible is not solely written by men inspired by God. That is a false narrative that has led you to believe that every single thing in the Bible is true and everything in the Bible is ordained by this one supreme being. And that is not true. So I implore you to read it for yourselves. All right. Them don't want the people them to know this real truth. Exactly. They don't want the people to know the real truth. Because if you read this book here for yourself, you will realize the Bible wasn't written in one day, one generation, or one era. The contents of the Bible span thousands of years. There's a story in the Bible from Abraham. You know how long a time it was between Abraham and Moses? You know how long a time it was between Moses and David? You know how long a time it was between David and the breaking down of Israel? When Nebuchadnezzar take away all their jewels and everything, all their riches, and break it down, take them into slavery, and appointed new rulers and governors and destroy their temples. And did you know? Did you know how long a time it was between that time and the time when Jesus came? Generations. 12 even. Okay. Now, how long is that many generations? Okay. I rest my case. Let us continue. For those of you who are just coming into the live, we are currently reading from the book of the Acts, chapter 7. We're going to start chapter 7 right now. Then said the high priest, "Are these things so?" And he said, "Men, brethren, and fathers, hearken. The God of glory appeared unto our father Abraham when he was in Mesopotamia, before he dwelt in Charan, and said unto him, Get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred, and come into the land which I shall show thee. Then came he out of the land of the Chaldeans, and dwelt in Charan. And from thence, when his father was dead, he removed him into this land, wherein he now dwell. And he gave him none inheritance in it. No, not so much as to set his foot on it. Yet he promised that he would give it to him for a possession, and to his seed after him, when as yet he had no child. So Abraham was promised this land where Israel is, even before Abraham had any children. Because remember, say Abraham was old when them did have the children, So even before he had any children, he was promised that land for his children and his children's children. Verse 6, and God spake on this wise, that his seed should sojourn in a strange land, and that they should bring them into bondage, and entreat them evil for 400 years. And the nation to whom they shall be in bondage will I judge, said God, and after that shall they come forth and serve me in this place. This was the high priest talking. Somebody says, who said that? It says the high priest. Want me to read that again for you? Let's do it. Then said the high priest, are these things so? And he said, men, brethren, and fathers, hearken. Hold on there, Michibu. Let's do this again. Yeah, I like when y'all ask questions in the chat so we can about what we are reading, so we can get it together. Let's go back to chapter 6, the last verses. Andrea said, yes, the more you read clarity and conscious awareness, you will see that then and now are the same with different actors. Ah! Exactly. Let us read the last few verses of chapter 6. Let's read verse 12. And they stirred up the people and the elders and the scribes and came upon him. Now this him that they came upon was Stephen, and they caught him, that Stephen, and they brought him to the council and set up false witnesses, which said, this man, now this man they're talking about is Stephen, this man ceaseth not to speak blasphemous words against this holy place and the law. For we have heard him say that this Jesus of Nazareth shall destroy this place and shall change the customs which Moses delivered unto us. And all that sat in the council, looking steadfastly on him, saw his face as it had been the face of an angel. Now, this is Stephen. All right? Let's continue, verse 7. Then said the high priest, are these things so? So the high priest is asking, is that true? Is this what he been doing? Is that what he been doing? Blaspheming against Moses' law that he had given to us. And he said, men, this is Stephen talking. Pardon me, before I said it was the priest, but now this is Stephen talking. The priest said, are these things true? That's what the priest asked Stephen. And he said, this he now would be Stephen answering to the priest, men, brethren, and fathers, hearken. The God of glory appeared unto our father Abraham when he was in Mesopotamia, before he dwelt in Charan, and said unto him, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred, and come into the land which I shall show thee. Then came he out of the land of the Chaldeans, and dwelt in Charan. And from thence, when his father was dead, he removed him into this land, wherein he now dwell. And he gave him none inheritance in it, no, not so much as to set his foot on. Yet he promised that he would give it to him for a possession, and to his seed after him, when as yet he had no child. So Stephen is telling them that even though Abraham had no children, their God had already promised Abraham this place where they were. And God spake on this wise, that his seed would sojourn in a strange land, and that they should bring them into bondage, and entreat them evil for 400 years. Michibu say, so then bring him to the big dogs back in those days, because Stephen, yes. So they took Stephen and brought him to the council, to the big dogs, as you call them. Yeah. They brought him to the judges, the high priests, they were the judge, juror, and executioners. So they brought him in. The high priest asked him if all these things that they are saying that he was preaching, if it is true. Stephen didn't back down. He said to everybody who was there who would listen, even remember that Abraham, our forefather, Abraham was given this place. God had told him this place would be for his generation and generations, even before Abraham had any children. He was promised this land. Let us continue to read and see what else did Stephen say to them in that council. Verse 7, and the nation to whom they shall be in bondage will I judge, said God, and after that shall they come forth and serve me in this place. And he gave him the covenant of circumcision. So the circumcision was really a covenant, huh? Oh, okay. Let's continue. We're not going to dwell on the circumcision. And he gave him the covenant of circumcision. And so Abraham begat Isaac, and circumcised him the 8th day, And Isaac begat Jacob, and Jacob begat the 12 patriarchs. So clearly before the, yes, it was a covenant between Abraham and God. The circumcision was a covenant. Me never know that. Me never know that at all, because even during Moses' time, I didn't think as I was reading about it, I thought the circumcision, like, why would this even be a religious order? Why would physical mutilation become a religious order? Y'all remember I said I didn't get it. I didn't get it. But clearly, that Lisa McClure, welcome again. Yeah. So that was some kind of covenant between God and Abraham with this circumcision thing. And then Abraham had Isaac. Somebody says, is it a good thing or a bad thing? To be honest with you, I can neither say yea nor nay. As a healthcare provider, they say it's a good thing because it is supposed to render the patient to be cleaner, to prevent diseases. I don't see how, because anywhere you can stick your stickler and you can pick up a bug. It doesn't matter whether you're circumcised or not. How you think the bug is going to care whether or not you are circumcised? To me, that does not make much sense. But somebody says here, it rid of bacteria. No, that is a false narrative that people say it get rid of bacteria. No, it don't. How circumcision are going to get rid of bacteria? It's just a removal of the foreskin. The foreskin. I was going to say something, but me not about to say it. That appendage of a little boy or a man needs to be clean, needs to be kept clean, needs to be washed properly. Yeah? Roll it back and wash it. If you ask me, listen to me, I have 2 boys. And when my boys will say, oh, I can't put them go circumcised, go. No. Nature has given them their body parts for a reason. Not to go and go mutilate themselves. And me not carrying them, go mutilate them. For what? I see people 40 years old. I see patients 40 years old. Them just get convinced of some kind of religious order. And them say them have to go circumcised because it is in alignment with the teachings of the Bible. Wanna see how people can be misleaded? Notice the people them. Of course, at that big old age, people... Of course, at that big old age, I see people going to circumcise because suddenly they want to be in alignment with some kind of a religious order to circumcise. So here we see now this was a covenant between Abraham and God. So Abraham, I guess, circumcised his children and their children circumcised their children, etc., etc. Listen, nature not do nothing at all without it being thoughtfully done, if there's any such thing. Okay? Please, is it going to say that the people before Abraham who did not circumcise, that they don't have no place in eternity? Listen, notice the people. I'm going to say this. Notice the men who are circumcised. Them lose some of them length. Am I lying? Because that foreskin is there to accommodate the extension that an erection brings to that area. Don't you notice that when a man is erected, that foreskin accommodates that erection? Why would I want to cut that off? Why? I'm just asking. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It is supposed to accommodate the extension of an erection. Not for cut off it. Cut it off. Like, cause they are beer, Father Abraham. Oh man. Father Abraham. Mitchie Boy says, Father had many sons. And true, and that's how we did. Of course, that's how the kids were born. I'm not going to participate in that mutilation in the name of religion or anything else. No, not at all. But anywho, let us. Yes, it is had many sons, not many psalms, sister. She says, Andrea, she says this song says Father Abraham had many psalms. No, sister, it's not many psalms. It had many sons. Are you a psalm? Remember the song goes on to say, and I am one of them, and so are you. So that you are a psalm? Girl, you're funny. OMG. Let us continue. J forever. Bless up yourself. Boo, I don't know what I would do without your vibe. Trust me. But remember, yeah, me know Sayano's son. But remember that these songs are coming from their patriarchal establishment where everything they refer to the son, and when they refer to the son or the son of men, they are really referring to everybody. But they were not specific. They were not specific culturally. They were not specific in identifying women like that. They were not going to say the sons and daughters. It was very rarely that they said that. When they said all men, they don't mean all gender men. They meant all humans. Okay? Somebody says, Andrea says, what I noticed biblically that most of the events written were about men, less of women. Yes, because you see, their society being a patriarchal society, it reverenced the men. The women were not so. And that is why a lot of people say, they did not like women, they did not respect women because Jesus took only male disciples. But remember, initially he took male disciples. But when they were calling all the people to come spread the words, there were men and women. But Jesus' version of Moses' laws, they could not change them like just suddenly change anything. So they had to slowly incorporate Jesus' version into the existing version that the people were accustomed to. It's like building on what you already have. If you have been learning math part 1, when you move on to math part 2, you're really building on what you have before. Some of the processes you might be able to drop because you have, in your mind, you have already adapted to those. So you can always just drop them and move right on. Not sure if that is the greatest example, but it works for me. Why I never say kids and children? No, they're not going to say that, sis. They just say all men. Once they say all men, it is meant to cover everybody. I know that men were ordained to be breadwinners and women the children bearers. Why so? Well, that was how their society was established. women have the children, women be their homemakers, and men went out and worked, took care of the children, took care of the wives and the mothers, and that's how their society was established. Yes, Michibu, slowly amended as you go along. I like that, the way you put that. Yeah. So I mean, that's how it was. That's how it was. You have to start somewhere. When some say she have a buzz, tell her Trev that she have a buzz with some. She does. When some say you have a buzz, Michibu, circumcision ceremony popularly done by Jew named Briss. Yes, I know they have their circumcision ceremonies where they do. Remember, Moses had also introduced circumcision. Remember when y'all remember circumcision has been used too as a weapon, as a tool. You all remember when um a ship, what was his name again? I'll tell you the other story. Y'all remember when Dinah was the only daughter of Jacob. You remember when that man Shimei was his name, I believe it was, don't quote me. You remember when he had defiled Dinah, as in having slept with Dinah, and the children of Israel were camping around that city, and Dinah had gone out, and the king's son saw her and thought she was absolutely beautiful, and he took her to his parents to ask, he has found a woman, but this woman was not from their faith. This woman was a descendant of Jacob. And he asked his father if he could take the woman. His father told him yes. He take Dinah. He slept with Dinah. When Dinah went back and told his brother, he went to this man, what happened? They got so mad. They went, Simon and all of them, all of Dinah's brothers, they went to go destroy this city. The father of this man, the father was king. He offered them to bargain with them, to say, listen, you can give me Dinah for my son to marry. Your sons can take our daughters. Any girl here they see they like, they can take. If your daughters, if the women among you will see any man here, they can take. I will give you just about anything because my son loves Dinah so much. They say no. He violated their sister. But they tricked the man, and they say, listen. The only way we will accept that offer is if you order that all the men and boys in your city be circumcised, just like we have been circumcised. And the king agreed because he so badly wanted his son to have Dinah. And so he made this big declaration to all the people in his city. And he said, listen, this is the new law. All the men and boys around here need to be circumcised ASAP. And so all the men and boys gathered up, and everybody went to take their circumcision job. And they all gathered to go get their circumcisions. After everybody had gotten their circumcision, they were all in pain. They were all wrapped up in bed. Can't do anything because they are sore. And Jacob's sons saw that as their perfect opportunity to move in. They went in and they slew everybody in this city. They slew everybody in the city and burnt it down. Remember that story there? Let us continue. I can't antichrist that. I cannot be antichrist that right there. I just see. Antichrist, what's up, sis? How you doing? How you doing? Good to see you. Happy Saturday. Happy June to you, my love. Yeah. So this circumcision here has been used repeatedly, but we're going to continue. Let us continue. We're going to read verse 8 again. And he gave him the covenant of circumcision. Now this is God giving Abraham the covenant of circumcision. And so Abraham begat Isaac and circumcised him on the 8th day. And Isaac begat Jacob, and Jacob begat the 12 patriarchs. Now the 12 patriarchs were the 12 tribes of Israel. And the patriarchs moved with envy. They sold Joseph into Egypt, but God was with him and delivered him out of all his afflictions, and gave him favor and wisdom in the sight of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And he made him governor over Egypt and all his house. Now there came a dearth over all the land of Egypt and Canaan, and great affliction, and our fathers found no sustenance. But when Jacob heard that there was corn in Egypt, he sent out our fathers first. Now here he's sort of retelling the story. He's sort of retelling the story that we had read before. All right. Michibu say, oh, somebody send me. Oh, Michibu, you go on with yourself this morning, man. Give me the vote. Give me the vote. Yeah. Give me the vote. Hey! Hey! JY, say, but me not circumcised. No, you don't need it. Just wash yourself properly. Yeah. You need something for your accommodator extension. Right, JY? Yeah. That skin accommodates your extension. When you're extended, you don't see no foreskin. It disappear. Me right or me right, people? I know I can Google bigger, but me still ask what that mean. It's a conjugation of gotten, beget, begotten. You have a child. You say you begot that child. So that means you have that child. That's what this begot means. Yeah. So you begot your son. That means you have your son. You are the child's parent. All right, make we continue. Ira, what's up, my love? How you doing? Let us continue. But when Jacob heard that there was corn in Egypt, he sent out our fathers first. And at the second time, Joseph was made known to his brethren, and Joseph's kindred was made known unto Pharaoh. Then sent Joseph and called his father Jacob to him, and all his kindred, 60 and 15 souls. So there was 75, because 3 scores is 60 plus 15 is 75. I believe there was 77 people in total who went down to Egypt of Jacob's generation. Me please I'm gone back on my bed. What time of your bed? Listen, at 6 o'clock in the morning now for me. Okay? So you try going back at your bed. Couch in my bed. Can't sleep. All right, lovely people, let us continue. Then sent Joseph and called his father Jacob to him, and all his kindred, 60 and 15, that's 75 souls. So Jacob went down into Egypt, and he died there, he and our fathers. Only Jacob died there. His sons them never die in Egypt, guys. Jacob's sons never died there. As far as what I have read, Jacob's sons did not die in Egypt. But anyway, let us continue. Let us continue. Verse 16. And were carried over into Shechem. That's Sychem. Into Shechem. And laid in the sepulchre that Abraham bought for a sum of money from the sons of Emor, the father of Shechem. Dr. Dre, bless up yourself. But when the time of the promise drew near, which God had sworn to Abraham, the people grew and multiplied in Egypt. You know, I had thought about the number of years that the children of Israel spent in Egypt. They spent many years in Egypt. Now remember, when Joseph went to Egypt, when Joseph was sold by his brothers and captured and sold to the Egyptians and went to Egypt, he was already a big boy. His brothers before him were much older. After Joseph was down there for a minute before he sent to call his family members to come down because of the famine and there was food in Egypt. But I always wondered how long the children of Israel, for the number of years that the children of Israel spent in Egypt, how comes Joseph's brothers were all still alive when they left Egypt? Maybe they weren't. Because here in the Acts they are saying that they died in Egypt. So maybe when Moses had carried the children of Israel across the Red Sea through the wilderness for 40 years and were distributing the lands in Canaan, when he was saying he gave this son this part and he gave Benjamin, maybe it was just the descendants of Benjamin, but not Benjamin himself. Interesting, huh? Very interesting. But anyway, Six Bows, bless up yourself. How you doing, my love? Good to see you. I tell you, the people come on in there, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you on the talk for your taps. The talk is tapping our way, and I appreciate it. And the gifts are rolling in, and I appreciate it. You know, they say love is something. If you give it away, it comes right back to you. All these gifts, I just give them away when I go on other people's lives. I just give them. So everybody can share in the love, right? Yes. Let us continue. For those of you who are just coming, happy Saturday morning to you. Happy month of June to you all. Thank you so much for popping in. You are in the channel of Trev from Trevessence, and we are on to the Bible reading this morning, like we do every morning. This morning we're reading from the book of Acts of the Apostles, chapters 5 through 7. So read along with us. We are now on to chapter 7. When some said Jacob died at the age of 147. So here they are saying he died in Egypt. Remember they had bought this land. I remember back in Genesis, I think it was somewhere around there. It had talked about him having bought this land down there in Egypt. He had bought a piece of land, and it was on that land that he was buried. So apparently, he was buried there, and so was his sons. But we're going to continue reading, because oftentimes when the Bible presents us with some confusion in the succeeding verses, it gives us some clarification. So let us continue. Let me not stay here and bust my brain. Let's continue reading. Verse 14 of chapter, and all his kindred, 60 souls. So Jacob went down into Egypt, and he died, he and our fathers. Okay, that means Jacob and Jacob's boys, right? And were carried over into Sychem, and laid in the sepulchre that Abraham bought for a sum of money of the sons of Emor, the father of Sychem. But when the time of the promise drew near, which God had sworn to Abraham, the people grew and multiplied in Egypt. Hello, Vipe. How are you doing? Good morning. Tell them from Michibu, please. Tell them if they touch the three dots, it will take them to this the screen where they can hit the like button. Verse 18. Till another king arose, which knew not Joseph. The same dwelt subtly with our kindred, and evil entreated our fathers, so that they cast out their young children to the end they might not live. In which time Moses was born, and was exceedingly fair, and nourished up in his father's house 3 months. And when he was cast out, Pharaoh's daughter took him up and nourished him for her own son. Now you all remember that story, right? How Moses' mother, remember they had ordered that all the boys be the new king. The Pharaoh who was in charge of Egypt when the children of Israel had gone down there, he had passed away, and a new king was now appointed. And this new king had ordered that all these alien boys be unalived. And so Moses' mother put Moses in a basket and sent Moses down on the river Nile. On the river Nile, was it? On the river. On the river, on the bank. Sent him down. And the new king's daughter picked up the basket, saw this cute little baby in the basket, and decided that she's going to keep the baby for herself. Ain't that something? So she had this baby, caring for this baby inside of the palace. She said them, listen, I don't have no breast milk to give this baby. I need somebody who can breastfeed this baby so this baby can remain healthy. This servant said, we know somebody who just give birth. So clearly she just gave birth. She is lactating, right? Who was the person they end up sending for? Moses' birth mother. To come and breastfeed Moses and take care of Moses, feed Moses and do everything to Moses and get paid for it in the house of the enemy. Wasn't that something? Wasn't that something? Yeah. That's what happened. Somebody said, thank you for being here, everyone. I appreciate you, Six Bows. You are so welcome, my love. Remind them to share and comment and hit the like button. I appreciate you, my dear sister. Somebody's asking, did the mom know? All right, listen to the story. Listen to the story. So the Pharaoh in Egypt had ordered that all the boys from the tribe of Israel be unalived. Okay? Moses' mom, she was from the tribe of Israel. She had just given birth to Moses. So she did not want the soldiers to come and slay her baby. Because they were slaying all the boys. All of them, all the babies. So they could annihilate the tribe. Because remember, the children of Israel, they had been growing. They were been multiplying so much. They were taking over the whole place. You understand? So they had ordered the children be unalive. Moses' mom put Moses in a basket and put the basket on the water. The basket a flow down and go on the river. The king's daughter had come to the river to come fetch water, bathe, get up, reeds, whatever she came to the river to do. She saw this little basket, interesting little basket, and when she picked it up and looked in it, there was a little baby in the basket. And she go, oh, he's so cute. I could take this baby for myself. So I don't have to have no baby. I could just take this baby for myself. So she took the baby into the palace with her. Now she's pretending this baby is her. She has decided that she's going to raise this baby. She does not know this is a Jewish baby. But with her privileges, this baby is going to escape the wrath of her father. This baby is not going to be killed. But guess what? She have a dilemma. Because she didn't give birth to this baby, she's not lactating. She can't give this baby breast. So she wants somebody who is lactating to be able to give the baby breast. So she told the servants, listen, me need somebody to feed the baby. Me need somebody to nurture the baby. Me need somebody to take care of the baby. And so them say, listen. Him say, listen. When some say, it was all the firstborn. However, the story is about Moses. Yeah, thank you for that, Sister Winsome. Yeah, we can go back and read the story of Moses. Yeah, but the point I'm getting at is, I'm trying to answer this question from the person above you, Michi. And so the king's wife, daughter, was taking care of Moses. But when she asked them to help her find somebody who could give Moses breast and take care of Moses inside of the house, and she would pay them to take care of this new baby she had, they went and called Moses' birth mother. And the king's daughter hired Moses' birth mother to come take care of Moses, not knowing that it was Moses' birth mother. You get it now? All right. Okay, so let us continue. So his birth mother was in the palace, giving him breasts and taking care of him and getting paid for it. You get it? All right, good. So let us continue. And when he was cast out, Pharaoh's daughter took him up and nourished him for her own son. And Moses was learnt in all the wisdom of the Egyptians, and was mighty in words and in deeds. I was wondering if they ever found out that that was his mom in the long run. Honestly, I don't know if I can quote anything biblically that says so, but chances are they did. Chances are. Verse 23, and when he was full 40 years old, it came into his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Israel. So Moses was all of 40 years old before he decided that, you know what? I'm going to see about my people. Yeah, I'm going to visit the people. I'm going to search for my lineage. I'm wondering, I'm sure by the way he would have known that he was not really an Egyptian, that he didn't belong, because otherwise he wouldn't be seeking out to go find his people. So at some point, he got the knowledge that he was really not an Egyptian. He was an Israelite. Let us continue. It says in verse 23, and when he was full 40 years old, it came into his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Israel. And seeing one of them suffer wrong, he defended him and avenged him that was oppressed, and smote the Egyptian. No, remember that story? And remember that story? Or Moses saw the Egyptian. He saw the Egyptian was mistreating a descendant of Jacob, an Israelite, and Moses struck him dead and buried him in the sand. And remember? So when Moses appointed himself to be this great ruler of the children of Israel now, Moses, the people were opposed to Moses. Them say, who you think you be? You remember, you think we never did see you when you unalive the Egyptian and bury him in the sand? All right, so Swift One, thank you so much. You see, that's what I love when you in the chat, always here for the thing. Swift One, I appreciate you. So Swift One is helping me out here. Him say after she found out about his family, his mother told him that he was an Israelite. Appreciate that one, Swift One. Okay, so Michibu, there you go. There you go with the answer. Okay, his mother told him. So that's why Moses did go and so like him all that. well, of course, yes. Moses had all right to behave like he was all that. Remember, he was a part of the Israelites, but he grew up in royalty in the Egyptian house. He grew up with all the Egyptian customs, and because he was in the palace, he grew up favored. He grew up with all the nice things and all these things. And it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder if Moses, if one thinks a Mark Golding a descendant of Moses, Moses a dual citizenship. But anywho, that's not why we're here. We don't do Trev, why? Not today. Not today, Lord, not today. Anyway, let us continue. Let us. A story time, Swift One. Swift One say a story time. Let me tell you something. It shall come to pass. It's all coming to pass, my love. It is all coming to pass. Now you all know where dual citizenship rulers come from. Let us continue with some. Let us continue. So in verse 25 here, yeah, with some, not rub Winsome the wrong way, Swift One. Winsome say leave back alone. Oh, sorry. All right. Let me move right along. Verse 25. For he supposed his brethren would have understood how that God by his hand would deliver them, but they didn't understand. Verse 26. And the next day he showed himself unto them as they strove, and would have set them at one again, saying, Sirs, are ye not brethren? Why do ye wrong one to another? But he that did his neighbor wrong thrust him away, saying, Who made thee a ruler and a judge over us? You remember this? That was the same story. That was the same story. Did you two people them mean with them like some come back? I say, I have to tell you, I say, Michibu, I say when me done YouTube live sometimes, I see me have, me see 2,000 views and something. I say, all them people are coming at the live. I have 10 likes. Me say, what is the people just hit the like button? Them not do it. Me glad to them come still. Me glad to them come. It's all right. Me wish they would hit the like button, but me not gonna say nothing too bad if them not hit the like button. Boy, them just go on with themselves. So, Calubella, how you doing? Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. If you're coming here, don't hit the like button. Come on. I'm gonna call you out. I'm gonna call you out loud and clear if you don't hit the like button. But anyway, let us continue. Let us continue. Yeah. So here comes Moses now trying to tell the two descendants of Jacob. I'm trying to tell them. If you look up on your screen, guys, you're gonna see three little dots. Touch those three little dots. It will take you to the beginning of the live where you can hit the like button and then come on right back. Okay, you know that hard. Now, let us get back to the reading. Now, Moses, after Moses had struck this Egyptian who was treating a descendant, after he had struck this Egyptian and buried him in the sand, the next day he saw two descendants of Jacob fighting amongst themselves. Moses said, "You're one. You're one, unwa brothers. What are you fighting for? Unwa brothers. Stop the fighting so early in the morning." God is in the house. Bless up a nice clean self, sis. How you doing? Yeah, so he said, no, stop the fighting. So the two men now, hear them to Moses. Who are you for come and tell we for stop the fighting? You think we never did see you yesterday when you killed the Egyptian and bury him underneath the sun? We did see you, We did see you. So you now have no grounds to be able to come tell us. You no holy righteous to come tell us. Yes, Michibu, that was a big radam. He said, you now have no authority to come tell us to stop fight because you unalive one whole man and bury him underneath the sand. Anywho, let us may we continue, gentle people. Let's continue. But he that did his neighbor wrong thrust him away, saying, who made thee a ruler and a judge over us? Wilt thou kill me, as thou did the Egyptian yesterday? Then Moses fled at this saying, and was a stranger in the land of Midian, where he begat 2 sons. Okay? So Moses was afraid that these men now was going to tell the Egyptians, say, Moses unalive that man the day before. So Moses run away. Moses ran away, went to the land of Madian. God oversleep. Good morning. Better late than never. God then say oversleep. What did you explain what begat me? Yes, I sure did, honey. Where were you? When I said begat means that you have a child. You begat a son means that you gave birth to a son. You have a son. Wait a second. If you continue reading, yeah, me I go continue. All right. So Moses went to Midian, and there he begot 2 sons. All right. There he had 2 sons. Hold on there. Let's continue. And when 40 years were expired, there appeared to him in the wilderness of Mount Sinai. This says Mount Sinai. I think it's Sinai. An angel of the Lord in a flame of fire in a bush. So hold on a minute now. So by this time Moses was 80 years old? Yes, you begot 3. Yes, Mr. Boo, you begot 3 children. Yes, gentle people. So was it then that Moses was 80 years old at this point? Because remember it said that Moses was 40 years old. What am my phone I did? Jesus. Phone. Oh Lord, people. Can you believe it? I'm not even the system my phone I lose charge. All right, there we go. Uh-oh. It tumbled down. I forget one different phone older, because I'm older and I work right. Them just keep on dropping off. But anyway, we're going to continue. Swift one says something missing from where you're reading. The soldier did find out that he killed one of his own then. No, Swift one. They took him to the desert and left him. They took him to the desert and left him? Took who? And that me reading, and that me remember reading in the earlier books in the Old Testament. It said that they saw Moses, the Egyptian man was mistreating an Israelite man. And Moses unalived the Egyptian man and buried him in the sand. And then the next day, Moses saw two Israelite men fighting. And he intervened and said, why are you all fighting with each other? Aren't you all brothers? Why are you fighting? And the men turned on him and said, who are you to tell us what to do? You are no God. You have no moral authority to tell us not to, because you think we never see you yesterday when you unalive the Egyptian man and bury him in the sand. And then Moses, realizing that he was seen, that somebody knew what he had done, he was afraid now that the Egyptians are going to turn on him, because even though he was living in the Egyptian household, his loyalty was towards the Israelites. They took him. One next book. Okay, Swift one say they took Moses. He might go find the text and send it to me. Okay, baby, no problem. Find the text and send it to me. That they took him. I don't remember having read that they took Moses. I believe I read that Moses ran away because he didn't want the men to tell the Egyptians what he had done, because they were going to see that he really wasn't loyal to the Egyptians. He was there because of the circumstances that brought him there, but he was really extending his loyalty to his people of his birth, not the people of his growth. All right? So find it and send it, come give to me. Anyway, let us continue reading what it is that the Bible says about that situation. It says, Moses ran away to Midian, and he stayed there for 40 years. They say 40 years had expired when there appeared to him in the wilderness of Mount Sinai. That's what it says here, Sinai, but I think it's Sinai. An angel of the Lord in a flame of fire in a bush. Let us continue. Verse 31. When Moses saw it, he wondered at the sight, and as he drew near to behold it, the voice of the Lord came unto him. Verse 32. Thank you all for the taps over there on the talk. I appreciate you all so much. Michibu, tell them 10K, please. Let us continue. When Moses saw it, he wondered at the sight, and as he drew near to behold it, the voice of the Lord came unto him, saying, I am the God of thy fathers, the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Then Moses trembled and durst not behold. He trembled and he covered his eyes. He did not want to look. That's what that means. That's still a go on now, Trev. Two brothers, I take with each other life over foolishness. Me hear a news last always. Over all land, all dead left horse, all kinds of foolishness. We are just a people of, grievous attitudes. I don't know. Thanks for the heart puff, my love. I appreciate you. Let us continue. Verse 33. Then said the Lord to him, take off your shoes from your feet, for the place where thou standest is holy ground. I have seen the affliction of my people, which is in Egypt, and I have heard their groaning, and am come down to deliver them. And now come, I will send you into Egypt. This Moses whom they refused, saying, Who made thee a ruler and a judge? The same did God send to be a ruler and a deliverer by the hand of the angel which appeared to him in the bush. Trev can't give me all of my money. God made it where me can't send the lion. I appreciate you, baby. I appreciate you sincerely, even if you can't send the lion. That is okay. That is okay. That is perfectly fine. I appreciate you. Just for you being here is good enough for me. Trust me. Just your presence and your participation in the chat is good enough for me. All right. Let us continue. So now Moses is going back to Egypt to go deliver the Israelites out of the hands of the Egyptians. Let us continue. He brought them out. After that, he had showed wonders and signs in the land of Egypt and in the Red Sea and in the wilderness 40 years. So Moses was 40 when he I guess, pledged allegiance to his people. Then he went away to Midian. 40 years had passed after he went over to Midian, right? And now another 40 years in the wilderness. So by the time they got out of the wilderness, Moses is over 120 years old. All right, let us continue. Verse 37, this is that Moses which said unto the children of Israel, a prophet shall the Lord your God raise up unto you of your brethren, like unto me. Him shall ye hear. This is he that was in the church in the wilderness with the angel which spake to him in the Mount Sinai, and with our fathers, who received the lively oracles to give unto us. To whom our fathers would not obey, but thrust him from them, and in their hearts turned back again into Egypt, saying unto Aaron, make us gods to go before us. For as for this Moses, which brought us out of the land of Egypt, we wot not that is become of him. At what point did they ask Aaron to take them back to Egypt? Was that after Moses died? Let's continue. And they made a calf in those days, and offered sacrifice unto the idol, and rejoiced in the works of their own hands. Then God turned and gave them up to worship the host of heaven, as it is written in the book of the prophets. O ye house of Israel, have ye offered to me slain beasts and sacrifices by the space of 40 years in the wilderness? Yea, he took up the tabernacle of Moloch, and the star of your god Remphan, figures which he made to worship them, and I will carry you away beyond Babylon. So, let me ask something. While the children of Israel were in the wilderness, were they still performing sacrifices? Were they? I'm not sure. I think there were. But here it says, and they made a calf in those days and offered sacrifice unto the idol and rejoiced in the works of their own hands. Now we remember that, right? When they made those idol calves, remember? When they made that idol calf out of all their jewelry when Moses was up on the mount. Yeah, when he came back and he saw that they had made this calf and they were worshiping this calf, that he kicked down the calf and break it up. Y'all remember that? I guess that's what it's talking about here. All right. Then God turned and gave them up to worship the host of heaven, as it is written in the book of the prophets. O ye house of Israel, have ye offered to me slain beasts and sacrifices by the space of 40 years in the wilderness? Good question. Yea, yea. He took up the tabernacle of Moloch and the star of your god Remphan, figures which he made to worship them, and I will carry you away beyond Babylon. Our fathers had the tabernacle of witness in the wilderness, as he had appointed, speaking unto Moses that he should make it according to the fashion that he had seen. Vaughn, good morning, Vaughn. How are you doing, my love? Good to see you. Vaughn, because I disobeyed God. How are you doing? Happy Saturday morning to you, my love. Verse 45 says, which also our fathers that came after brought in with Jesus into the possession of the Gentiles, whom God drove out before the face of our fathers unto the days of David, who found favor before God and desired to find a tabernacle for the God of Jacob. But Solomon built him a house. Yeah, you all know that. So David had the desire to build the tabernacle for Jesus, for their God. But as we had read before, David collected all the cedar wood, all the nice gold and silver and all the nice adornments that were going to decorate this temple. But he did not live in long enough to even lay a stone of that temple. It was his son Solomon who ended up building this temple with all the material that his father had gathered. He says, but Solomon built him a house. Howbeit that Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands, as saith the prophet. Heaven is my throne, and earth is my footstool. What house will ye build me, saith the Lord, or what is the place of my rest? Hath not my hand made all these things? He is stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ears. He do always resist the Holy Ghost, as your fathers did, so do ye. Now, when he says the uncircumcised, remember it says uncircumcised in heart. That is a figurative speech, that their heart is not pure. Yeah, their heart not clean. That's why it referred to them as stiff-necked people. They're hard ears people, and they are of uncircumcised heart. Remember, we read in previous scriptures where it said Jesus wanted the people to circumcise their heart. Bring your heart to me, your deeds, your thoughts. Purify your thoughts. Don't harbor bad thoughts about people. Don't harbor desires to inflict pain on others. Rid your heart of such intent. Purify your heart. So that's what he's talking about here when he talk about the uncircumcised heart. Let us continue. Verse 52. Which of the prophets have not your fathers persecuted? Nice question. And they have slain them, which showed before of the coming of the just one, of whom ye have been now the betrayers and murderers, who have received the law by the disposition of angels, and have not kept it. When they heard these things, they were cut to the heart, and they gnashed on him with their teeth. But he, being full of the Holy Ghost, looked up steadfastly into heaven, and saw the glory of God, and Jesus standing on the right hand of God. Rent your clothes and not your garment. Exactly. Rent your heart and not your garment, I should say. Yes. Present your heart to him, but not your clothes. You don't have to rip off your clothes for sure that you are repenting from the bad thing you did. All you need to do is to modify the thoughts that come in your head, the thoughts that you dwell on. Because offense will come. Offense will come. People will offend you. But woe be unto him who sins because of that offense. So it comes in your heart. Somebody wins some offend me and it comes in my heart. If you fling a rock stone, lick him down. And I yield to that and I fling a rock stone, lick down, win some. Now I am a murderer. Yeah. Offense will come, but woe be unto he who does not yield to that, who yields to that offense, I should say. Let us continue. When they heard these things, they were cut to the heart, and they gnashed on him with their teeth. But he, being full of the Holy Ghost, looked up steadfastly into the heavens, and saw the glory of God, and Jesus standing on the right hand of God, and said, Behold, I see the heavens opened, and the Son of Man standing on the right hand of God. Then they cried out with a loud voice, and stopped their ears, and ran upon him with one accord. And they cast him out of the city, and stoned him. And the witnesses laid down their clothes at the young man's feet, whose name was Saul. And they stoned Stephen, calling upon God and saying, Lord Jesus, receive my spirit. Verse 60. And he kneeled down and cried with a loud voice, Lord, lay not this sin to their charge. And when he had said this, he fell asleep. This was Stephen. Remember, those of you who have grown up being told Bible stories, Stephen was one apostle who was stoned to death. Me just count from 1 to 10. Some people just come to bother your peace. Yes, with some. You know the thing, yes. Count from 1 to 10. Because sometimes some people, all they come to do is bother your peace. Some people don't like peace. They like problems. You understand? Some people don't like peace. They like problem. So you have to just count to 10 and bid them bye. Bid them goodbye. Okay? Now, guys, this here brings us to the end of the reading for this morning. It brings us to the end of the Acts chapter 7. Rather interesting read, I should say. And I say it today and I say it all the time. The Bible is such an interesting book. I behoove y'all to spend some time read the book. Read it before you run on out there and start condemning people and start telling people about your God and what you know and why not the Bible and how the Bible said this and take your time and read it for yourself. Don't run out there with all that arrogance. Okay? Read it for yourself so you understand what it is talking about, and you understand, more importantly, that these stories were written so far apart that unless you read it for yourself, you're not going to realize it. Because when people are talking about Abraham and Moses in the same breath and Jesus in the same breath, they're not telling you that these writings, the writings about Abraham, could not have been written at the time of Jesus, because Abraham and Jesus didn't live at the same time. You understand? Those would have been recordings from the time when Abraham lived. These recordings were read by people from generation to generation. And they carried on these sayings and they carried on these practices. There was Moses. Moses came with these new laws, and the people carried on with these laws and these practices, and they come on all the time. They were taken into Babylon, and they were prevented from practicing all of their religion because they were taken into Babylon, and the Jewish religion was now suppressed, and the Babylonians they were afraid of the punishment the Babylonians would effect on them if they dared to practice their religion, and all of this oppression that they were going through, so much so that they were hollering and bawling. If you look in the Psalms, where they were calling to their God, and where are you, Father? Where are you? Why do you leave us to suffer like this? Where are you? Are you sleeping? And then it comes on to Jesus being born, coming to deliver them. His birth was prophesied hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years prior to him coming, that he was going to come to deliver the children of Israel from the hands of the enemies. All right? So guys, boy, I said I was going to be here. What here? Look at the time. I want to say thanks to everybody who came into the live. Paul, bless up yourself. I sincerely appreciate y'all who have come into the live this morning. Those of you on the tube who have hit the like button, I appreciate you all. Those of you on the talk who have tapped your screen, I appreciate you all. Thank you all so much for having come. I'll call you because when me want to write. Okay, ma'am, you got my number? You understand? Yeah. No. Can't write everything out on Broad Street. Just like we can't say everything out on Broad Street. Because the internet will never forget. No matter if I didn't want mistake you make, the internet will never forget. No matter if 10 years on the road you change your mind, the internet will never forget. When you see on a former president, after them convict him, or in forward up, they convict him of 34 felonies. Lord Jesus, them can't be gonna form a president of 34 felonies. And when the president come out and the internet go and dig up his speech. Go dig up his speech from 8 years ago when him say Hillary Clinton can't be president, Hillary Clinton are gonna be a felon. And we can't have felons in the White House. 8 years ago, and them dig it up and find it. Come use it now to whip him. Using it now to whip him because he is determined that he is going to be the next president. He's going to go back into the White House. Yeah, that he's going to go back into the White House. So they're using his own words to troll him. So people, be careful what you do and say out here on the internet and these internet spaces, because it will come back to haunt us. It will. But okay. So guys, that is going to be it from me for this morning. Michibu say Radam. I tell you, they really Radam him with that one. I wonder what he's saying now. Now that he is in those shoes, those same shoes that he bought for Hillary in 2016. Look how he might wear them right now. Tell them like over YouTube or before them the people them over YouTube. Child, come like a beg me for beggy people them. All right. So guys, that is where we are going to end the reading for this morning. I want to say thanks to everybody who came into the live. I sincerely appreciate you all the newbies who came into the live. Swift one and others, are several new people over there on the tube as well. I sincerely appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you learned something, or this reading meant something to you. If it did and you did not yet hit the like button, don't forget to hit the like button. Today on a Sunday, sister. Today is not Sunday. Today is Saturday. And but this time I gonna cook today. You see you, Andrea. Andrea, you don't like me now. You want me and this baking. Me I go bake tomorrow for sure. Tomorrow me I go bake. Me I go cook tomorrow. I'm going to bake for sure. Today, me I go do one short little live. Me I go make one taco. Michibu say she learned a lot. She learned say it is Father Abraham had many sons and not many psalms. Okay, good. Oh, you say you mean tomorrow? Yeah, man. Tomorrow me I go cook tomorrow. Me I cook tomorrow. Me I go start early tomorrow after me finish the Bible reading. Me I go start the cooking tomorrow. And me I go cook again today. Me I go do one easy little live. Me I go make one of them wrap thing. Me I go do it on the live when me done. Yeah, when me done, me I go do that. But me don't know if me I go cook anything big today. Me I go wait until we wake up and see if she want anything. Cause me have some rice somebody cooked from last night with cabbage and tuna. She don't eat cabbage, but she eat the tuna. She must say I like eat it off. So I don't know. We will see. But at just 7 o'clock, time still early. If me feel like for company life, me come. Me don't want to do no big cooking, to be honest with you. No want to do no big cooking. Because when me do the big cooking, me do the big eating. And the brothers that were fighting draw Moses' secret, bust him run off for 40 years. Okay, you learned that too. Okay, good. Wonderful. Yeah, learn well in the class, man. Yeah, do well. Yes, so guys, I will see you again in a little bit. Yeah. Miss Unstoppable, welcome. Thank you so much for popping in, guys. We have come to the end of another morning's reading. Join me again tomorrow morning, same time, same place, when we will continue with the reading of the Bible. Tomorrow morning, me not have no more corn, so me can't eat no more corn. Me have corn, but I like frozen corn. Thank you for the corn. Michibu send me some corn. Thank you so much, my love. Yeah, me not have no more corn for eat. And me not go on the grill at all. That of a special occasion. Yes. But tomorrow morning when we come back, we will read from the Acts chapters 8. Wait there. We'll be reading from the Acts chapters 8. Tomorrow we can read 8 and 9. Or 8, 9, and 10. Well, tomorrow when we come back, we will read chapters maybe 8, 9, and 10 in the morning. Okay, so join me again tomorrow morning, same time, same place, when we will do this all over again as we continue to read the Bible from the beginning to the end for ourselves. Until then, my friends, this is Trev from Trevessence, where your journey matters. The garden is it a go on with itself. I'm going out there to go water it right now because yeah, the rain be falling, but it's not doing well with the rain. Because the rain falls, but the water just runs off the top. Yes, I have to keep going out there and digging up the dirt so that the water can soak the soil. It's a challenge, trust me. Some parts have sown seeds for a month now, 6 weeks, not one no pop up. The okra them I plant them little bit so and already sprouting okra. Like that's not even teenage pregnancy, because they not reach teenagehood yet. That's a childhood pregnancy. I don't know what do them. Why them a push up okra so soon? And the plants are not even firm yet. So I don't know, I go on. But the corn look like, 2 of the corns look like they're about to flag. They are starting to flag and stuff. But God not behave good at all. But I go work on it still. Alright, so I will see you all later, guys. Have yourselves a great day, Michibu. Thank you so much. Andrea Card, Sister Winsome, Michibu, Paul was here too, and everybody else who was in the live. I can't possibly remember the names of everybody. But thank you all so much for having come, guys. Until next time, this is Trev from Trevessence, where your journey matters. Have yourselves a great morning, everybody.